All right, let's keep it going, folks, because we're going to be joined by the governor and some folks very soon. Their bus just dropped us. All right, let's get it going, folks. Traffic is down and business is up.
Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down, business is up. Traffic is down.
Oh, he was on the bus.
Our names are missing.
He was on the bus.
Who? Yeah.
Lick? Why did we
It's
go?
your district.
Huh?
It's your district.
Streets are safe for transit.
Why was RJ for diversity?
I guess it started
Congestion
over.
pricing works. Congestion pricing works.
It's your
Congestion
district.
pricing works. Congestion 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 pricing works.
Look at Chris Quinn.
Congestion pricing works.
The cameras are staying on.
The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on.
The cameras are staying
on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on.
How about this? How about this is the real world where people get get that?
No.
No? Sean Duffy. What can we say about Sean Duffy?
This is not London.
Sean Duffy.
Transit is better. Streets are safer. 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 Transit is better.
What can we say about Sean Duffy?
All right, all right.
Sean Duffy. What rhymes with Duffy?
Well, they're here because all the people came out of their trucks.
Traffic is down and business is up. 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 Traffic is down and business is up.
I'm glad I
Traffic
watched.
is down and business is up. Traffic 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 is down and business is up. Congestion pricing works. 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 Thank you.
Thank you, Governor.
Thank you,
Governor. Thank you, Governor. Thank you, Governor.
Wow. What a morning this is. We just took the M14 over, and guess what? It was fast. And we don't need to wonder why. The world has changed dramatically for this city and this region ever since congestion pricing went into effect in early January. Now, to all the naysayers, hopefully you now are seeing that those who studied this and thought about it and worked on this for years, if not decades, had a vision that is now being realized, that we can have a city that is not paralyzed by traffic and congestion, that our air is cleaner, that our businesses are more robust, more people are going to Broadway. Our buses and subways are going faster and more supported by more people are taking them than ever before. And guess what? Not only is traffic down and business is up. Can I hear that again? Traffic is down and business is up. Traffic is down, business is up.
Traffic is down and business is up.
But all very nice, everyone. But also, subway ridership is up and crime is down. And we're very traffic is, yes, indeed. So I want to say this. It's been a long journey. We're still on that journey. And the more people who get a chance to see the benefits, just walk around and talk to people, ask if their lives are more enriched, whether they have more time with their families if they're a commuter, whether or not they're finally realizing that we have the world-class public transit system, but we need to keep it world-class by raising the revenues to invest in it as well. That is essential. So, today's an important day. The cameras are staying on. And cameras are staying on.
The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on. The cameras are staying on.
They sure as hell are. I want to recognize some leaders here who've done an extraordinary job in fighting for this. And again, this was not an easy journey. Countless lawsuits, people going on television constantly berating this, saying it wouldn't work. I want them to come here now and feel a very different New York City that is very alive and it's vital. It is not jammed and stuck in traffic. We are moving once again, and we're moving into a better future, a welcoming future, a place that people can live safely. We're going to build more housing. We're going to bring more businesses. We're going to make this be the best place in the world to live, and we're not done yet. So let's So more housing is right. Don't get me on that. But I want to recognize Senator Robert Jackson, Senator Kristen Gonzalez, Senator Broyle Hoylman Siegel here, Senator Liz Kruger is here, Assembly Member Deborah Glick, Assembly Member Tony Simone. Have I forgotten any legislators from Albany? Okay, can we just negotiate the budget here and get it done?
I'm for that.
Okay.
Senator Kruger right here.
Also, Councilmember Eric Botcher. Thank him for joining us as well. And also leaders like Kathy Hochul from the partnership who did a lot of work. I want to thank her. I want to thank the business community. We continue to need their voices in Washington, talking about how this is beyond what anyone could have expected in terms of the results. This also shows that government can work for the people. There's a lot of talk about a book called Abundance this week. We all need to read that because the way we deliver for the people and let them know we know how to lead is by delivering results, and that's exactly what this is. We are delivering for the people. So let me turn this over to Q Arroyo, who's the Chief Accessibility Officer from the MTA, to talk about why these investments in our capital plan are so important, but also what the quality of life is all about here in the city. Let me turn it over to Q, and we're hearing from a number of other speakers as well. Take it away, Q.
Nobody does it like you on this issue. You're great.
Thank you. Love you guys.
Thank you so much, Governor. And thank you all for being here with us today this morning. It is truly a pleasure to see so many people here. And the message here is very clear. Congestion pricing, congestion relief is a local tool, a local solution to a local problem that we were facing here in New York. This is the ingenuity of New York. We had a problem of clogged roads, congested roads. We've seen since in the last 10 weeks since the congestion relief has been active, as you said, traffic is up. Traffic is down. Traffic is down. Sorry. As you said, traffic is down, business is up. We see more pedestrian activities in the Central Business District. Times Square has more safe pedestrian activities. This is working for everybody, but the money that we are recuperating from this is being directly reinvested into transit options. This is about transit, universal access to transit for everybody. You know who loves congestion pricing? Congestion relief? Drivers. I am now hearing that people from Long Island can get to a theater during the weekday because they can drive efficiently. This is about access to transportation to everybody, motorists, and there are a lot of them, and we want them to continue. If that is their mode of transportation, they should be able to do it efficiently, effectively. The businesses are able to save money getting to their destinations a lot faster, making more deliveries per day. That is what this is about. But also the investment is so critical for all of our transit riders, over 4 million subway riders daily, 2 million bus riders daily. They deserve access to efficient transportation as well. Before congestion relief, our buses were moving at 4 miles an hour. Today, they're almost double that speed. That is working. 2 million folks on buses deserve efficient transit options, and that's what this is delivering. But that money is being reinvested into the system to deliver a more accessible transit network, and we desperately need that. Thank you, Governor. And listen, I don't know what's happening with those folks down south, but I ride the subway daily, and I've never felt unsafe. I live in Harlem. I ride late at night. I'm getting home on the subway. I'm taking the subway early morning down to 2 Broadway, and I've never felt unsafe. The statistics are clear. Since the pandemic, crime is down. The subway safety is being felt everywhere. Now, the data doesn't correlate to people's feeling, and there is a sense of unsafety. And Governor, I want to thank you for your support working with the mayor and the city of New York to bring more police presence, because we've heard from riders that police presence make them feel safer, and you've delivered that in the overnights and all 24 hours to make people feel safer, because it is safe. So I don't know when the last time those folks down in Washington rode the subway, but I tell them, join me and feel safe in Harlem, feel safe all throughout the city, because that is what this MTA team is delivering. Access to transit for everybody. Thank you all.
Q mentioned subway safety. I follow statistics all day long. An interesting one. Subway crimes are 50% lower today than they were in 2001, a generation ago, when someone named Rudy Giuliani was the mayor. Just want to put that out there. With that, let me introduce Jeffrey Francois, the executive director of the Meatpacking Business Improvement District, who will let us know the impact on his community. Jeffrey.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning. My name is Jeffrey LaFrancois, Executive Director of the Meatpacking District, and it's my pleasure to welcome Governor Hochul, our friends in the legislature from around the borough and outside the borough of Manhattan, and a special shout out to my other Business Improvement District colleagues from Union Square across town, Garment District in Midtown, and Hudson Square just below us. Welcome to Meatpacking, everybody. Right now, you're standing in what used to be the middle of the road. Today, it's a bustling public plaza in the heart of the Meatpacking District. We are a distinct commercial neighborhood with nearly 30,000 office workers surrounded by residential communities in the heart of Manhattan. We're boxed in by major streets and adjacent to the West Side Highway. And I can tell you that while people come here to enjoy our street life, they certainly don't do it to be marred in traffic. As a neighborhood, we prioritize the pedestrian experience, and it shows. We're home to a myriad array of innovative businesses, premier arts and culture destinations, excellent hospitality, and a sprawling network of plazas that occupy 40,000 square feet of public space across the district. And you can take 4 bus routes and 4 subway lines to get here, just as easily as you can hail a yellow cab. And at the end of the day, and the Gov mentioned this, she references, we all do. New Yorkers just want to get around and do so quickly. We can outwalk anybody in the world. But at the end of the day, public transit is the lifeblood of New York City, and improving the system is good for business, it's good for the Meatpacking District, and it's certainly good for the region. The easier we make navigating all that makes this city special, the better. And easing traffic flow makes streets quieter and more efficient, and if there's one thing business loves, it's efficiency. Whether it's making sure that spring collection hits the racks on time or delivering freshest produce to our kitchens, when the movement of people and goods are prioritized, we all succeed. Spring has sprung in Meatpacking, and we are excited to welcome you here in any way, shape, or form you choose to get here. Thank you again to Governor Hochul and to all of you for being here today. Traffic is down and business is up. 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 Traffic is down and business is up.
Really great. Let's hear from Dana Dennis, the senior organizer of the Riders Alliance. There she is.
Good to see you again. Okay, all right, my folks are here. Good. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Governor Hochul, first of all, for inviting me to speak today. It really is an honor, someone who's been fighting on this for years, to be here with all of our leaders, alongside our fellow transit advocates. I see a lot of the Riders Alliance members here, so I'm going to shout them out, of course. Right, subway and bus riders are essential to our city, and all of you who really are committed to improving our transit system across New York City. It really is the lifeblood of our city, and we say it all the time, but transit is at the intersection of so many of our issues. We already heard about housing, safety, getting to your medical appointments. Anything really that you're accessing in this city, transit is important to that. And so we gather here today to not only rally for congestion relief, but also to defend the progress that we've made. Can we just clap for that, right? We have made progress. We've been in a fight for the last couple of months, years, some of us, for better public transit. And let's be clear, it's about more than just a toll. It's about the future of our public transportation, our communities, and the very air that we breathe, right? That's what's at stake here. So with congestion relief, we have a sustainable funding source for our transit system, and this program really is a lifeline for investments for our buses, subways, and the infrastructure that supports them. Most of that infrastructure is outdated, let's be real. So we're looking forward to the updates of that. And unfortunately, we are facing significant opposition to this program, right? We have folks who want to turn off the cameras, which, as you heard the governor say, we're not turning them off, so thank God for that, on our tolling system. They want to roll back some of that progress that we fought so hard to achieve. And I want to tell you all, and I hope that you remember this, we will not back down. We all know what's at stake here. We understand the powerful impact And we understand that the funding is needed so that we can create a safer, faster, and more efficient transit system. It's about ensuring that our subways and our bus lines are not only reliable, but they're also accessible for everyone, especially those who need it the most. Elevators are for everyone. So while we champion congestion pricing today, let's also spotlight the pressing need for our transit systems that exists, right? So we still have many critical infrastructure needs. We have requirements that demand immediate attention. We need updated signals to ensure that we have timely service. We need more elevators, as I've already said. We need faster buses that respect the times of riders. We all have places to go. We have families that we want to get home to. We have a city to access. Let's respect the time of the commuters. And every day, I want to tell you, I hear from riders day in, day out that are facing challenges in our system. And they're not just statistics. These are real people. They have real stories behind their lives. Every time they swipe, there are mothers who are carrying strollers up endless flights or steps. There are seniors who are struggling with heavy bags every day. Everyone in between, right, deserves a reliable system. And I'm just going to wrap it up by saying we also need to protect congestion relief, but we need to make sure that we get a reliable capital plan this year as well. So I'm just going to throw that in there. Yes, we need it to be fully funded. We need to make sure that we address that. And the voices of riders must echo in the halls of power. And I think that they are. I see a lot of leaders here today from Albany, and I know they're going to get it done. We are, again, so grateful to stand with the governor today. We want to make sure that the needs of riders are uplifted and championed. And so today, I want to just say thank you for standing with us, for everyone who's out here, and for the support that you're doing for fighting for a better transportation and future in New York City. Thank you, everyone.
Congestion pricing works. Congestion pricing works. Congestion pricing works. Congestion pricing works. Congestion pricing works.
Hi guys, unas cuantas palabras en español para nuestros televidentes en casa. Estamos aquí con la gobernadora celebrando el descongestionamiento que estamos viendo en las calles de Nueva York. Las carreteras están fluyendo, los autobuses se están moviendo y esos que manejan están manejando con eficiencia, llegando a su destino mucho más rápido que antes. Y todo ese dinero que se está recaudando de la tarificación para la congestión se está invirtiendo en un mejor sistema de transporte para todos esos 4 millones de personas que usan el tren diario, más de 2 millones que usan el autobuses. Y estamos escuchando que esa gente que vive en Staten Island, en Long Island, en New Jersey, están manejando mucho más rápido que antes. Así que esto es buena eficiencia para todo neoyorquino, para todo visitante. Gracias a la gobernadora por su apoyo al sistema de transporte público, es todo el sistema de transporte en Nueva York y su colaboración con la ciudad de Nueva York, con el alcalde de Nueva York y la policía para mantener un sistema de transporte safe para todos, que todos nos podemos sentir seguros usando el tránsito. Gracias, gobernadora.
Sí, es verdad. Más rápido. Sí. Más rápido.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining us here today, and enjoy the effects of congestion pricing on lifting up this city, its people, its businesses, our visitors, in a way that we get around so more people can see and embrace the vitality of the greatest city on earth. Thank you, everybody.
Congestion pricing works. Congestion pricing works. Congestion pricing works. Congestion pricing works.
Viability of congestion pricing, which is a significant funding source to fund the $15 billion, part of our previous capital plan. The threats, I think there's always going to be threats coming out of Washington. Tweets from secretaries. I have a direct communication line to the president, and I feel confident that we'll find a path forward that sustains this important source of not just revenue, but a way that stimulates a quality of life and a vitality in the city that we've not seen in a long time.
Hi, Governor. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. So the threat from Secretary Duffy that followed the 30-day delay notice was actually the second time the Trump administration threatened transportation funding. The first time was earlier in the week over safety on Fox News. The mayor has suggested that Department of Transportation officials need to get down here and see congestion pricing firsthand, see safety efforts firsthand. Do you have any plan? Have you discussed with the president having representatives come to New York City, see these efforts firsthand, see what you're calling results of these initiatives?
No, I presented information in a very nice, colorful booklet that had all the data. And I went again last Friday to update that data, which is continuing to improve. They're always welcome to come here. I can assure them a very fast commute around the city when they come. Join me on a bus or on a subway ride. And no, I do, you know, we don't have to be at war over this. I think sometimes people have to be play to certain political actors. But our president is a New Yorker. He understands that we don't exist without a highly functioning, effective, safe subway system. So if they want to help us make it even safer, despite the fact that we're down 24% in crimes from last year, down 29% since 2019, down 50% since 2001, I think we can do better. Send us my money, and we'll continue to do that. So we will work with you to get that done.
Bravo.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you coming out. All right, one more question. I got to take the subway. They're not waiting for me. I got to go.
Thank you. What guardrails do you have in your talks with President Trump when it comes to a possible deal to keep congestion pricing alive? Is there anything he's proposed that is completely off the table?
No, again, I'm appealing to him as a New Yorker who has property here, has employees here, has friends here, and I encourage him to just, again, be open-minded to the benefits. Again, a lot of people were against this in the beginning. A lot of people tried to politicize this. And now we're starting to see more people who are understanding that they may have said no on the front end, but now they're benefiting from that. The more those stories get out, the more the message will get to Washington and the leaders there about this is something that is working. And let us manage our own traffic. I'll let this, you know, if the Secretary of Transportation's so worried about safety, why don't you look upward and worry about safety in the skies, which you actually have control over, and we'll take care of safety here. But if you want to help us, we'll take the resources. Thank you, everybody.
God, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.